That's so annoying. Guys, my head is cut off. Guys, I'm filming in a new spot. I'm filming in my new finished space. Please ignore this weird cord. Why is it that when you have someone come in and they make the whole space brand spanking new, and then they leave like one mystery cord? Maybe I can get that cord out of the shop. Let's see if I can get the cord out of the shop. Yeah, that would be just fantastic. Oh good, the cord is out of the shop. My issue with it is, are we gonna get into our issues with books? That's an update, so a revised update, a part 2 update, an update to the channel plans update, and an update to the update. That was that was an update. An update to the channel plans and personal plans update. That was an update. That's part 2 update. I'm not really sure what I'm going to be. I don't even know what I'm going to put as the title of this. Book haul and update, revised, revision. Hi everyone, it's me, Jess, coming to you live from my new renovated bedroom. It's very exciting. So I was going to do my wrap up today, and I realized when I checked the poll that I did last week that the second choice for people, and it wasn't by, like, it wasn't close or anything. The first choice was for me to do chatty current reads and channel plans, which I did post last week, although I realized as soon as I was editing and posted that video that I have other channel plans. So I'm gonna do a little update for channel plans. That was at 39% for the poll, and then book haul was 31% in the poll. So, and I have acquired some books in the last, well, I guess since my birthday. My birthday was back in March. So I wanted to talk about the books that I got around my birthday and since then that I've picked up, really since Christmas even, I think, because I've been buying fewer books. I've been taking advantage of my libraries, but I have bought a few books and I did want to talk about them today. They're here behind me. I also have some updates to channel plans for the summer that I want to update you on. The updates are going to come after the book haul. I'm going to do the book haul first, and then I'm going to talk about some of the things that I've forgotten to mention. This room is at the back of my apartment, and there always seems to be people in the springtime working on stuff. It's noisy from 7 a.m. until 8 p.m. at night. People sawing away. I don't know what they're sawing out there. I don't know what they're building. I never see any new buildings going up, but it's just noise, 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 noise. So that's just part and parcel of living in the city. So just, I can also hear a dog barking, just background noise as per the usual. Let's get into some of the books that I purchased. So the first one is Fayne. This, I've already read this book. This was one of my best books from last year. It's by McDonald. I was waiting for it to come out in paperback. And as soon as I saw it in the shop in paperback, I was like, that's mine. Thank you very much. Because I loved it so much. And I think Fayne would make just a fantastic gift around the holidays. I did do a holiday gift guide way back around Christmas. I think if you know someone who has a birthday coming up, if you just feel like giving the gift of reading to a friend, I think Fayne, although it's a brick, so some people might not be down for reading a big book, so I can see that as being a drawback, but I think Fayne is a really good idea for a gift. It's about Charlotte Bell, who is this just a wonderful character who is growing up fairly sheltered. We learn that her brother died and that she also lost her mom. We are led to believe that her mom died in childbirth. She's raised by her dad on this estate called Fayne, which is where the name of the book comes from. Fayne is located in between Scotland and England. I think it's like right on the border, so it's not claimed by either. That's kind of the idea of the book, because Charlotte Bell, the character, discovers different things as she's coming of age. It's really a coming of age story. It's interesting because she has has some kind of an ailment that we're not quite sure what it is, and then that gets revealed through the course of the book. I know that's kind of simplifying the plot, but I don't want to give anything away if you haven't read Fayne yet. But that's basically the idea. It's just a wonderful book. I talked about it also in my best book of 2023, so you can go back and check out that video if you want, but I had to pick it up, had to own my own copy. It will live here on my shelf forevermore. I also picked up 2 books. I think I might have talked about this. I don't know if I talked about this or not. I think I did in the reading vlog that I did where I went to Ottawa for my birthday. I had discovered a really cool used bookstore called The Black Squirrel. I think it was called The Black Squirrel in Ottawa. I picked up, there's dust on everything from the renovations. I picked up this used copy of The Bandit Queens, which was ever so popular last year during the Women's Prize reading period. It was on the long list, and I'm pretty sure it was shortlisted, although I'm not 100% sure, and just had rave reviews. Everybody was raving about it, so I picked it up. I'm really hoping to get to it at some point. So yes, I'm really looking forward to reading that as well. Very happy that I found a used copy. I felt really excited for some reason to have found a used copy. Don't ask me why I was excited for a used copy. I just was. I don't know why. I can't tell you why. I think my issue with it is, are we going to get into our issues with books? My issue with it is, it's bigger than other books. It's a funny shape. It's not working on my shelf the way the other books are. The size of it is a little bit much. I don't know. I don't know why they couldn't come out with a regular size. But anyway, there you go. Then I picked up Pond by Claire-Louise Bennett because I've heard so many good things about Claire-Louise Bennett, and I have her other book, Check Out 19, an Irish writer. She lives in Galway, Ireland. And I just want to read her work because I keep hearing so many amazing things about her. This is her debut, and like I said, I haven't read Check Out 19 yet, but I'm hoping to get to one of hers this year. This is about an unnamed woman, an unnamed young woman, wry, somewhat misanthropic, keenly observant, who chronicles her life on the outskirts of a small coastal village. I don't know that she's necessarily really a plot-driven writer. I think that she's exploring the human experience and exploring the experience of being, I guess in this case, a young woman in a remote place. It goes on to say, as her persona emerges in all its particularity, sometimes painfully and often hilariously, we cannot help seeing mirrored there our own fraught longings, our own fugitive desire, despite everything to be known. Enchanting and unusual, Pond will linger long after the last page. This just sounds really good to me, and because I've heard so many good things about this book in particular and this author, I decided to pick it up. See what I mean? Look at the size difference here. What is going on? See, these two work on the shelf. This one, no. Anyway, I don't mean to be a pain, but this stuff gets to me. I don't know, just drives me a little bit bonkers. Next up, we have Mothering by Ainslie Hogarth. Hogarth? This cover is everything. Isn't it everything? This is I'm still not tired of this type of story. I'm getting a little tired of the mother story. The story of being a mother I am getting a little bit tired of. I just finished Soldier Sailor, and before that I read And Then She Fell, which I reviewed in my last reading wrap-up. But this sounds like it has a different kind of a take. I think it's more of a horror story. This is supposed to be gory. She's dead in the basement and she's refusing to leave. When Ralph and Abby Lamb move in with Ralph's mother, Laura, Abby hopes it's just what she and her mother-in-law need to finally connect. Oh, it's about a mother-in-law. Okay. Even better, even better. I really just got it for the cover. I really didn't know what it was about. I think I'd heard a few people talking about it. After a traumatic childhood, Abby is desperate for a mother figure, especially now that she and Ralph are trying to become parents themselves. Abby just has so much love to give to Ralph, to Laura, and to Mrs. Bondi, her favorite resident at the long-term care home where she works. Laura isn't interested in bonding with her daughter-in-law. She's venomous and cruel, especially to Abby, and life with her is hellish. Ooh. When Laura takes her own life, her ghosts start... Whoa, that took a turn. Okay, maybe I won't read any more because that will be spoilers. Okay. Summer, horror, Perfect. It even has like the flavor of Garbagus to this cover. Very excited for that. I don't know if it was last fall or the fall before where, I mean, this was shortlisted in 2020. This is Hurricane Season by Fernanda Melchor, and it's about witches, and it's supposed to be really, really intense. And I really wanted to read it during one of the Halloween seasons, but I didn't own a copy of it. I just heard people talking about it, and then I finally was like, I'm ordering it. I just want to have a copy so that I don't lose sight of that book. Like, I don't want to forget that that's a book that I really want to read. And I find sometimes if there's a book that I really want to make sure that I get to, I just purchase it because then it's on my shelf. I know that sounds bad, but I don't know. It's my way of making sure that a book doesn't get lost in my Goodreads to be read list, which has to be like 500 plus at this point. So if it's something that I really, really want to make sure I get to, I will try to at some point order it, or it stays in my mind to the point where I order it. And that's the case for Hurricane Season. It's just stuck in my mind, and I know I really want to read it. I know it's a crazy book. I've heard that it's pretty intense, but I'm saving it for Halloween. And I definitely want to read it for Halloween. I might read it for Women in Translation Month or Halloween. I'm not sure. One or the other. The back, just little description on the back says, the witch is dead and the discovery of her corpse has the whole village investigating the murder. As the novel unfolds in a dazzling linguistic torrent, with each unreliable narrator lingering on new details, Melchor extracts some tiny shred of humanity from these characters and creates a swirling portrait of a damned Mexican village. It sounds amazing. Amazing! Amazing! These are fairly recent purchases for me, so I'm feeling pretty excited about them all. Another book that I really wanted to get to last year that a lot of people were talking about that was on the Women's Prize long list. I'm, again, not sure if it made it to the short list, but I saw it out in paperback in my local bookstore, and I thought, yes, I'm picking that up. A Spell of Good Things by bámi Adébáyọ. I know Gemma really, really liked this book, and a lot of other people really liked this book. A lot of people spoke about it with very high praise. It's about class and gender in Nigeria, or two friends, one who's a young girl and one who's a young boy. I'm not sure. So the boy is poor and the girl is like the perfect child of a wealthy family. A local politician takes interest in the boy, and then there's some kind of event, a violent event, and their lives become interconnected. Very much want to read this as well. I mean, when am I going to get to all of these? I'm not sure, but the fact is that they are on my shelf now. So that means that there's much more likelihood of me reading them. I also picked up Bliss Montage, with a series of short stories by Ling. I read Severance 2 summers ago. I really, really liked it. And so, of course, when I saw that she had this collection of short stories out, I thought, yes, I must pick that up. And I've heard very, very good things about it. There will be a good time and place for me to sit down and read some of these short stories, perhaps this summer. Dances by Nicole Cuffy. I picked this up because I saw it again in my bookstore and it was longlisted for the Carol Shields Prize. I have not heard anyone talking about this book. And I thought, you know, it's on the long list. I'm going to get it and maybe I'll weigh in. Maybe it'll turn out to be like one of my favorite books of the year. Who knows? I know it didn't make it to the short list, but that doesn't mean that it might not be a book that I fall in love with. So I decided to pick it up because I thought it sounded really interesting. It's about Cece, who is a principal dancer at the New York City Ballet. She achieved celebrity really quickly as this principal ballerina, and because she's the first Black ballerina in the New York City Ballet's history. So it's about her experience, and it's about, I think, a lot about her experience of feeling like she doesn't belong, or maybe a bit like imposter syndrome, or that she's out of place. We start to learn more about her past, and she has an older brother who is missing, who was really important in her life and really encouraged her to pursue her dream of becoming a ballerina. That's really kind of all I know about it, and I think it could be fantastic. So I'm really curious to see. Let me know in the comments below if any of you have read Dances. This is like my new TBR shelf. Okay, this is a strange one. This one I just picked up because, you know, sometimes when you're in a bookstore and you just pick a book up, this I feel like maybe I was duped. I have no idea. It even has the sticker. Belly recommends this one. Belly, if you're out there, I've taken your recommendation. This is called The Devotion of Suspect X. I thought the cover was very intriguing. It's got a very brief summary. It just says, a mother's determination to protect her daughter drives her to a brutal act. A man's unspoken devotion inspires him to cover up her crime. A detective's drive for justice leads him into the ultimate battle of wits. With one surprising twist after another, leading to a stunning final turn, the devotion of Suspect X will linger in the reader's mind long after the last page is turned. It just sounds like it'd be a good summer read. It'd be a good, like, by the pool, by the beach, summer read. Let me know if you've read it. If you've heard anything about it, let me know. I have no idea. Oh, the author is Keigo Higashino. The sticker is covering their name. Keigo Higashino. I wonder, did I buy a Japanese book by accident? What? What did I buy here? What am I doing here? Higashino won Japan's Naoki Prize for Best Novel with his stunning thriller about miscarried human devotion. This book, I'm guessing. It's a Japanese translation. I had no idea. Amazing. Amazing. I'm so excited. I like Japanese mysteries. They're generally quite good. Sometimes they can be a little bit slow, but they're generally quite good. Okay, that's exciting. And then I was very interested in when I covered the Giller Prize last year, this author, Ian Williams, I think he was the chair of the jury for the Giller Prize last year. I could be incorrect, but I think he was, and that got me really interested in him. And when I did a bit of research on him, I found this book this novel that he wrote called Reproduction, which was a finalist for, it was shortlisted for the Toronto Book Awards, a finalist for the Amazon Canada First Novel Award. So I guess it's his first novel, debut novel. And so I picked it up. I picked it up at a used bookstore, but all the same, it sounds really interesting. It says on the back, this surprising, seductive novel about the way families are invented is so light on the surface you'll find yourself laughing or humming a 90s pop hit you didn't notice was woven right into its fabric. But watch out for what's lurking under its wildly original surface. A profoundly insightful exploration of the bizarre ways people become bonded. Reproduction insists that a family isn't a matter of blood or even love, at least not on the surface. So we don't really have much information about the plot of the book, but I noticed that it's quite experimental in parts. Like I was just flipping through it, and for example, it has like some diagrams in it, which I'm curious about. Yeah, I'm just curious about this. Eden Robinson, who wrote Monkey Beach, which I still haven't read, writes on the back, gritty, witty, wholly unsentimental exploration of the collision of human hearts and the messy aftermath. Another blurb says, Reproduction serves as a literary representation of the various intersections of culture, race, and gender in contemporary Canada. So that gives us a little bit more. It is a mirror with graffiti, social commentary, both humorous and powerful, scrawled all over it. So I'm really curious about this. I'm really curious. Let me know again in the comments below if you have read Reproduction and if you have any opinions about it. I picked up also used Manhattan Beach by Jennifer Eagan. I picked up new The Candy House by Jennifer Eagan, which I haven't read yet. But my daughter almost assigned me a visit from the Goon Squad for the college reading vlog that I spoke about in my last video where I was talking about channel plans. And I remember reading A Visit from the Goon Squad and really enjoying it. And I might reread it if I have time. I would kind of like to reread it because I forget. I think I forget most of it. But it had me thinking about Jennifer Eagan, keeping an eye out for her books. When I was in this used bookstore with a friend, I saw this copy of Manhattan Beach and I thought, yeah, I'll just pick it up. This one is about, I think this is historical fiction, which might be really interesting because there's a readathon coming up hosted by Shelley. That is a historical reading. There's a bingo card. I haven't looked at the bingo card, but I'm definitely going to participate. So maybe this will fit for one of the prompts for the historical reading challenge that's happening coming up in June. This is about Anna Kerrigan, nearly 12 years old, who accompanies her father to visit Dexter Styles, a man who she gleans is crucial to the survival of her family. She is mesmerized by the sea beyond her house and by some charged mystery between the two men. Years later, her father has disappeared and the country is at war. Anna works at the Brooklyn Naval Yard, where women are allowed to hold jobs that once belonged to men, now soldiers abroad. She becomes the first female diver. Like, this just sounds so good. The first female diver, the most dangerous and exclusive of occupations, repairing the ships that will help America win the war. One evening at a nightclub, she meets Dexter Styles again and begins to understand the complexity of her father's life and the reasons he might have vanished. This sounds just so good. So I might try to see if there's a prompt that works with for this upcoming readathon. And then, well, you know, big books. Big books are always a challenge. I don't think I'm going to be able to read this big book this year. I did a video about big books, the big books tag, which was a lot of fun to do. And a lot of people had commented about this, or I watched a number of other videos from that tag. I'll leave my version of that tag video linked. But a lot of people, this is a brick. A lot of people have talked about in that tag video, a lot of people talked about ducks. Newburyport, and I think I mentioned that I was really intimidated to read it. I'm not sure if I talked about it in that video or in another video. I had a lot of people say, because it's stream of consciousness. Look, you guys, there's like, if you don't know about this book, like there's no, it's just stream of consciousness. And I'm just, wow, could I read that? It's like, do I want to read that? Almost 1,000 pages. I feel like this and the books of Jacob, which I've also heard is really, really good, despite being a brick, are worth the investment. So I saw this used and I was like, well, again, if I have it on my shelf, and it's so pretty, look at the pretty color combination. If I have it on my shelf, maybe it will happen. That's the kind of book girly I am. If I have it on my shelf, maybe it'll happen. And then my lovely bookish friend got me a book for my birthday. She might be watching. If you're watching, thank you so much again. It was such a kind thing to do. I love getting books as gifts. And I didn't have this. It was quite impressive that she was able to come up with a book that I don't have on my shelf. Although there are so many books in the world, I guess there are options, right? She got me Biography of X by Lacey. I have Pew on my shelf and I haven't read it yet. But maybe I'll start with Biography of X. I've heard mixed things about Biography of X. Some people really love it. They think it's amazing, and some people, it didn't work for them. And it sounds like it might be a little bit challenging. It says, when X, an iconoclastic, that's a hard word to say, iconoclastic artist, writer, and polarizing shapeshifter, falls dead in her office, her widow CM hurls herself into writing a biography of the woman she deified. On a quest to find out where X was born, CM instead opens a Pandora's box of secrets, betrayals, and destruction. All the while, she immerses herself in the history of the Southern Territory, a fascist theocracy that split from the rest of the country after World War II, and which finally in the present day is being forced into an uneasy reunification. This sounds really, really good. A masterfully constructed literary adventure complete with original images assembled by X's widow. Biography of X follows CM as she traces X's, there are a lot of big words that are hard to say though, peripatetic trajectory over decades and through her collaboration and feuds with everyone from Bowie and Waits to Sontag and Acker. So I think it's based on a real person. It's a pseudo-biography. A pseudo-biography, if you want a genre definition there, a pseudo-biography. Yeah, so I really appreciated getting this as a gift, and I think it'll be a fascinating read as well. Let me know if you've read it in the comments below. Weigh in one way or the other. If you liked it or you didn't like it, let me know. So those are all of my recent purchases, everyone. Got my new shelf in here, and eventually it will be populated. Let's get into the rest of my channel plans that I somehow forgot to mention in the last video. As soon as I posted that video, I got an email from the BookTube prize asking if I wanted to volunteer again for the quarterfinals round, which I'd completely forgotten. I completely forgotten because I didn't judge the last round. The computer didn't choose my name, so I didn't judge for the last round, and I'd just forgotten that I would be able to volunteer again. I responded and said, yes, sure, I'd love to volunteer. So we'll see if I end up judging again for the quarterfinals for the BookTube prize. That'll be during June and July if that happens. One of the things that I was thinking of doing for a reading vlog this summer, or possibly in the fall, one of my ideas was to read books that viewers had recommended to me in the comments. So I have a couple of them here, or friends have recommended to me. I was just speaking to a friend yesterday and she said, oh, have you read Once There Were Wolves by Charlotte McConaghy? And I was like, well, I have it on my shelf, but I haven't read it. And she's really, really enjoying this book. So I thought, well, I'll add that to my pile of recommended books. I have Milk Teeth, which I've talked about before on the channel, which Scott talked about a lot, by someone named Jessica Andrews, which is kind of funny because that's my name. I have The Friend by Sigrid Nunez, which was recommended pretty highly by Kat. Outlet with Cat. I have Rabbit Cake, which I picked up in the bookstore and talked about in a book haul, and one of my viewers, Erin, said, I've never seen anyone else talk about that book on their channel. It's an amazing book. You have to read it, and then promptly didn't read it. So I don't know, Erin, if you're still watching my channel, but that would be one of the ones for sure that I would want to read during my reading vlog because of your high recommendation of it. Somebody recommended The Wall at one point. I think there were other recommendations. Derby Girls was another recommendation. I'd have to go through and take a look at the videos in the comments to put together a full list. That's just a kind of a beginning pile. I've been trying to keep track of the recommendations that people have been making on my channel. And I think it'd be really fun for that to be a regular installment where I read books that have been recommended by you all. It just seems like a really nice, I mean, you take the time to recommend these books to me, and I think it's really generous of you to do so and to comment at all. So I really want to make sure that I'm picking up those recommendations and taking it to heart. That's another project for the summer that I didn't get a chance to talk about that I'm pretty excited for. There's two more things that I wanted to mention before ending the video, and I know that it's getting to be a little bit long. I had such a positive response to the suggestion or the idea of doing a read-along for East of Eden this summer in the comments section that I've decided to go ahead and host a read-along for the book. This ties in a little bit to the other thing that I wanted to announce. It's not a big announcement. I'm just traveling. Next week, I'm going to the UK. I'm going to be traveling for about 10 days, and I'll be getting back to Montreal the end of the first week of June. I propose, for those of you who would like to participate, that we start mid-June, so the 15th of June, and we go to the end of July for this group read. I'll put together a schedule, which I will post probably for my June TBR. I'll include the schedule, but also if you want to participate, maybe just send me a message on Boxer and I already have someone who sent me a message on Boxer. I'll leave all the information in the description box below, and I will create the Boxer group chat for the book and post the schedule there as well. So again, if you're interested in reading along East of Eden with me, let me know. I'll add you to the Boxer group chat, and I'll put a few reminders over my next couple of videos that I'm doing this, just in case you missed this one. I'm really excited that I had such a positive response to that. It's so much fun. I had such a great time reading Invisible Man with everyone that I think it'd be really cool to do this one as well. It's always really fun to read these books with other people, especially if you're feeling a little overwhelmed by it, like it's a lot to tackle. Sometimes when you're on a schedule with other people, it can be really fun. And this time, maybe I'll organize at the end of it, I will try to organize like a meetup online, like a Zoom meetup or a Hangouts or something like that. Because I didn't do that last time and it was suggested to me, and I think it'd be really fun if we all were able to see one another and chat about the book at the end of the read-along. So there's that, very exciting stuff. And then just to talk a little bit about my trip, which I didn't mention before because I was still organizing some of it, I'm actually going to Oxford because there's a Kafka exhibition, and I'm very excited because I'm going to see it. I don't know if anyone's heard about this or anyone's as excited about it as I am, but the big thing is that Kafka's original manuscripts are housed at the Bodleian Library. Hope I'm saying Bodleian right. Bodleian? Anyway, they house Kafka's manuscripts, the original manuscripts. And I think some of those manuscripts are going to be part of the exhibition. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm really excited to go. And I'm hoping to maybe vlog some of this trip. If you happen to be a UK booktuber and you're watching right now, I didn't reach out really to anyone because I'm going to be seeing family and I wasn't sure how much free time I had, but you can always send me a message on Instagram or on Voxer if you want to try to meet up. I'm going to be traveling around a lot. I'm going to be in Oxford for some of the time, but I'm also going to be in London and I'm going to be in the Midlands, in and around the Midlands as well. So let me know if you want to try to meet up, and maybe I'll do a little bit of vlogging. I'll try. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not going to overcommit. If I do a little bit of vlogging, cool. If I don't, it's okay. I'll include some pictures and talk about my trip when I come back. Just to say, because I'm traveling next week to the UK, in terms of my upload schedule, I'm not entirely sure how it's going to go. I want to do my wrap up for April. I'm hoping to maybe film that next week, and I might upload it before I leave, or I might try to upload it once I'm there. And then for my June TBR, I will probably film and upload it there because I just don't have enough time this week to film 2 videos and upload them. So hopefully it will all work out. If not, I will post my June TBR late, sometime in the first week of June. So yeah, I'll try to give you guys updates regardless. If you're a new subscriber, thank you so much for subscribing. As I mentioned last time, I'm almost at 1,000 subscribers, which is insane to me, and I'm very, very grateful for those of you who went ahead and hit subscribe. I'm really happy that you're interested enough to be subscribed. I have no idea how many people watch who are not subscribed. I think most of the people who watch my channel are subscribed. I think I have kind of a loyal audience, which means a lot to me. So thank you so much if you subscribed. If you know anyone who would enjoy this content, please let them know, really for their benefit. And yeah, hopefully I'll get to 1,000 soon and we'll have a big party and I'll answer lots of questions. I'll do a big Q&A. I think I've rambled far too long, so I'm going to sign off. If you made it this far in the video, leave me some kind of spring flower. I was taking photos of all of the beautiful spring flowers because in Montreal, it's like almost overnight, all of the flowers seem to be blooming because it's spring. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now! Live here on my shelf. It's hard to do this. It's hard to do that and not look really weird on camera. We'll live here on. I waited a long time for this, and I'm really excited to be here. And I was going to come today. I put my name in. Purchased or received. Purchased or received. Let's get into some of the books that I purchased or received. Well, let's do them little by little, bit by bit. Okay. She is mesmerized by the sea. She is mesmerized.